Hi everyone, Isaiah Rial. Hope you're having a great day. This is my inaugural monthly market update. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you a few things. Number one, S&P 500 just hit an all-time high. Number two, we just had the longest bull market in US history. It's still climbing. And number three, I'm going to share with you a couple different investment strategies, sectors that I'm researching, Laguna Wealth Advisors is researching for our clients right now, and also moving forward. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is my inaugural monthly market update. So as you and I know, we do portfolio review calls or in-person meetings consistently. We do them on a consistent basis. And in these portfolio reviews, we go over a market update. So what's happening around the world, what's happening here in America when it comes to the stock market, when it comes to business, when it comes to economics. We go over all that together and I share with you how that relates to your portfolio. And we also go over a performance history. So how has the account performed since we last spoke? The point of these videos, in these monthly market update videos, is to keep you up to date as to what's happening around the world, what I'm researching, what I'm following up on in between our communications, because I want you to stay informed. I want you to stay in touch with what's happening, because that'll give us a smoother transition with each portfolio review. So this is the point of the videos, and I'm looking forward to sharing this information with you. So to start this episode today, I'm going to talk to you about two things that really go hand in hand, and that's the S&P 500 hitting all-time highs the other day, and also we just hit the longest bull market in US history. So I'm sure you know what the S&P 500 is. It's the top 500 market capitalization companies in the US stock market here domestically. Those are companies that you and I have heard of and probably we shop at or use in some point or some function or other on a consistent basis. But for many of you, you're thinking probably, okay, what's a bull market? What does that mean? What that is the healthiness, how the stock market has done throughout time. And what that means a bull market is markets have continued to climb upwards, meaning that there has been no recessions, there has been no extraordinary events to make the stock markets fall in value here a little bit. So what that means to you is this. Since the recession, since we started with this crisis in 08 and 09, markets have continued to climb and it has not stopped. Let's take a step back for a second. Let me give this to you in perspective. Let's talk about what's happened in the stock market. So what's happened around the world since this bull run, since the stock market has started to recover here from the recessions we had in 08 and 09. We've had an European economic verge of collapse. They've had a bailout, just what happened here in America. That happened during the recovery. We've had two different presidents. One raised taxes and one lowered taxes. We've had a Brexit. We've had, via what the professionals say, a very surprising election here in America. We've had populism come up on the rise all around the world. We've had trade tariffs happen here in America with us and China and with other countries too as well. On top of that, we've had news galore come out with possible pundits saying the stock market's going to fall, it's going to crash, what's the next thing to happen? And with all that, what's happened? The stock market has continued to climb. And so with that, with these two information, the S&P 500 hitting an all-time high and the US stock market, the bull run, breaking an all-time record, that tells us that the US stock market is still healthy. Even with all this news and even with all these things happening throughout the years, the market continues to climb. So from my research, from Laguna Wealth Advisors research, from the people we talk to, from the people we follow, here's where our thoughts are for the stock markets moving forward. Here in America, we see that the stock markets are going to continue to stay positive. They're going to continue to climb. However, yes, we see a recession coming, probably sooner rather than later. But at this point in time, stock markets remain healthy. Companies are coming out with record earnings and profits. Still, people are positive. Unemployment is low. People are spending money. economy is still doing very well. In fact, GDP just came out with a 4% growth rate. We haven't seen that in years. There's a lot of things to be happy about when it comes to the US stock market, and we feel the same way. And so moving forward, for the foreseeable future, we see the stock markets remaining to be positive. And what that means is, and I'll put it to you this way, I may have shared this with some of you, but I look at the stock market in two different ways. Being on the offensive side of the ball and being on the defensive side of the ball. And so I equate it to football. So of course, typically there's two main, I'm putting four out, but there's two main groups that make a football team, the defensive team and the offensive team. The offensive team's main job is when they have the ball, they need to score, because when they score more, the odds of them and the odds of their team winning is going to drastically go higher. Of course, the defense has the opposite side. They're supposed to defend the other team, the other team's offense from scoring. Right now, with the economy still being positive and positive upbeat news coming out, we're going to remain on the offensive side of the ball. So what that means to you is we're going to continue to look at investments and continue to look at strategies to make sure that your account continues to grow. When your account continues to grow, when the markets are positive, that's when we're going to have the offensive team on the field, meaning that we're going to look at relative strength. We're going to look at the sectors that are continuing to outperform the S&P 500 and the markets, and we want those types of investments inside your portfolio. And so right now, that's where we're at. We're still on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, we're going to be a little bit more conservative when it comes to the investments we make. So we may not throw the Hail Mary at this point in time, but we're going to make those solid 5-10 yard passes, those 5-yard runs. We're going to be a little bit more conservative, but continue to climb up the field, continue to grow your portfolios. And so right now, here's what we see when it comes to investment strategy. What do we see investment-wise moving forward? From the research we're doing, and of course, as a recap, we use relative strength investing. So we're looking at the top in class, the cream of the crop investments that have a proven track record of outpacing what the stock market is doing, so outpacing what the equally weighted S&P 500 is doing, and what their trajectory is moving forward. And so these are the sectors that we like right now. In fact, you may have some of these sectors already invested inside of your portfolios. And also too, these may be some areas that for some of you, we may look at investing into down the road. And so two of the main ones, and there's some components into each of these. The first one is this. The first one is technology. Technology continues to be the biggest player and the biggest gainer when it comes to returns for our portfolios. Technology, we can break it up to different sectors, but right now we're looking at technology sector as a whole. And if we dive deeper, we're looking at computer software, we're looking at cybersecurity, we're looking at the big internet players, so the Facebooks, Apples, Amazons of the world. Those are the areas that we're looking at, because technology continues to outpace what the S&P 500 is doing. It continues to outpace what the market is doing, even with the correction we had earlier this year, and even with this dip here recently. Technology has continued to remain strong, so we want some of your monies there. For some of you, again, we may have some monies there already. Great, we're going to continue to monitor that. We may possibly in the future, take some of those profits, or maybe add a small portion to contribute to the portfolio. For some of you, we may look at investing in some of these areas, possibly at the software space, or cybersecurity, or the big internet players. We may look at those areas for when it comes to investing. The other area that we like moving forward is healthcare. Healthcare has continued to remain strong, and it's only climbing right now. As you and I know, healthcare is not going anywhere. We all need healthcare. In fact, with more baby boomers coming out, there's going to be more need for this industry now more than ever. And so with that, we like the healthcare industry a lot right now. So we're starting to invest it for some clients. In fact, you may have it in your portfolio. If you don't already, we may look at investing a small portion down the road, depending on your portfolio, depending on the risk tolerance. But we like this area. If we dive deeper into what areas of healthcare we like, one of them is biotechnology. So the companies making these drugs, the companies that are synthesizing these new drugs and helping to fight off diseases, we like them quite a bit. Relative strength scale, they're extremely strong. That's what we want in your portfolio. So we'll look there. The other area we're looking at right now is healthcare providers. Healthcare providers continue to remain strong on the relative strength scale compared to a lot of other areas. And so we like that moving forward. That's the United Healths of the world, the Aetnas of the world, those types of healthcare providers. So those are a couple areas we may look at investing into, or we may look at just for your portfolio if it fits your portfolio. But as of right now, this is our first and inaugural monthly market update podcast. I want to share it with you. With any questions or any thoughts, please let me know. Feel free to give me a call. For many of you, I'll be following up with a portfolio review here soon, or to do our biannual reviews. I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.